Okay, here we are. Now I'll show you how to test the WG6. But first, a little bit of inspection. I like to look at the label first and make sure that the knob pointer lines up with the markings on the panel. This one is quite good because I've already adjusted it. I use a driver, which is much easier than just an Allen key, and I will equalise out the error between the right hand side of the off and the right hand side of the continuous, so it looks more balanced if there is a small error. Next, I like to check the foam on the chassis, make sure they've used the right thick 6mm foam and it's put on neatly. And turn it over, and the 2mm foam for the battery, holding the batteries, needs to be finished exactly on this front edge here, so that when the batteries are pushed in, they can't ruckle it all up and pull it off. The next thing is to check the insulating tape that's down there between these two edges of the battery holders, so these contacts can't possibly touch. The little printed circuit board can come loose, and that needs checking sometimes as well. You can see where I've got my power supply connected, positive and negative. They sometimes miswire this, so the only way to check it is to trace the leads from the two pads here on the PC to see where they go. I haven't done that for quite a while now. The last thing is the wiring. This wiring around the meter. This yellow wire here often runs over the meter and gets trapped between the foam and the chassis, and the same with these other wires, the meter and the terminal wires, they can be trapped as well. So it needs arranging neatly, basically, and check that the tie wraps are on the transformer cable. When you turn it over, you have to have bent this wire a little bit here so it sits in nicely and doesn't get trapped underneath the terminals. Right, on with some testing. Check the functions, the pulsing for test, and pulse, and continuous is continuous. So the next thing is to tune it for the TR10, which is on high with a short circuit lead. I use a coil tuning tool for the pots, it's easy to use. I just adjust the TR10 so it's on about 3/4 scale. I guess that's already been done, so that's where it would have been, and gradually reduce the frequency. Until you get a peak, you won't see it on the meter, and if it's not quite loud enough, just offset it a tiny bit. Next is the tuning of the squeaker in here. That would have been there. Gradually bring it down until they sound the same frequency. Put it on test, and you can check it more easily that they sound the same frequency. So that's done. Take the short circuit loop out, put it on full power, on continuous full power, and check the power supply reading. I can see it's 60 milliamps, which is about what I tested it at before. Go to low power, put the short circuit loop back, and check the current. It should be 160 milliamps, which is right. Medium is about 260, that's about what I had before, and the high is 400, that's about right. Sometimes they're low, so what you have to do is to put another parallel resistor. There are 3 resistors on the back of this board here from the switch for low, medium and high. You probably can't see those, I can't really show them properly. A resistor across each one there for low, medium and high. Let's get it about right. Now what have I done? I've got a loose lead. Where am I? So that's the low, medium and high power settings have been checked. That's fine. Meter reading on high is about just under 10, and I've got 9.8, so that's correct. The last test I do is distance for the TR10. So you put the TR10 on maximum sensitivity. You can't see this, I know, but move the coil away until you get about half scale. I can remember where that was, and I'll measure the distance, and it's 750 millimeters, which is about right. It only has to be 450, so that's well in hand. I would check there's a spare fuse present. I would look at the panels and the labels to make sure they're not scratched and wonky, that sort of thing. That's it, it's finished.